What we found when we really started to focus on innovation is we want to trust our teachers to make good decisions about this. We want to trust our students to make good decisions about this. So we took that entire document, we threw it out, and we created a flow chart. And the flow chart only has two questions. Is it legal and is it good for kids? And if it's legal and it's good for kids, you're allowed to use it in your classroom.
You're listening to the smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This is our District Talk segment where we interview district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday shine online. Now, let's get back to the interview.
Hi, I'm Gary Waddell, superintendent of Santa Clara Unified School District here in the Silicon Valley. We have about 14,000 students across 30 schools.
My name is Patrick Gittisriboongul. I am currently the Assistant Superintendent of Technology and Innovation with Lynwood Unified School District. Lynwood Unified is located in the city of Lynwood in LA County. We support about 12,000 students across 12 elementary, 2 middle, 2 high schools, continuation high school, and an adult school.
My name is Greg Gazanian. I'm the Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer for the Arcadia Unified School District. We have about 9,000 students at 11 school sites, and we are in the suburbs of Los Angeles.
How is your school district approaching AI tools like ChatGPT?
I tell you, we're really trying to look at them as powerful resources, as technologies that can be transformative for children. There are a lot of fears and concerns that come up when you start talking about AI. And I think those are sometimes outsized in terms of us looking at the real benefits that these have. Both, I'm really interested in the potential for artificial intelligence to make the lives of teachers easier, to make some of their more routine tasks more streamlined, time efficient, so they have additional time to spend interacting with students, as well as the power of these tools for students to expand their learning, their ability to identify and evaluate information and communicate that clearly.
We just had a conversation about this. We are going to start an AI task force, really looking at the implications, the effects, the ethics, and the opportunities around the use of AI. Our focus is really, how AI can transform teaching and learning, and as well as how AI can really help and act as a tutor for our students in the classroom. And so we know our students are already using it, but being able to use it safely and effectively is something that we're very much passionate about.
Yeah, so we're approaching ChatGPT like we do most new technology. So years ago, I'll say 8 or 9 years ago now, and this is when I worked more in the technology department and the technology side, we had a long list of approved apps and technology for our classroom teachers. So they would look at this long list. There's probably 7 or 8 pages. If it was on there, they were allowed to use it. If not, they had to reach out, get approval, go through this whole approval process. It took a long time. And there was no guarantee they'd actually get to use this new app or extension that they found. What we found when we really started to focus on innovation is we want to trust our teachers to make good decisions about this. We want to trust our students to make good decisions about this. So we took that entire document, we threw it out, and we created a flow chart. And the flow chart only has two questions. Is it legal and is it good for kids? And if it's legal and it's good for kids, you're allowed to use it in your classroom. So we've approached ChatGPT and AI in general in the same way, meaning, is it legal? It is legal. And is it good for kids? And we're seeing a lot of opportunities where it is good for kids. And this is always wrapped in, I think, broader directives, meaning it needs to be good for kids. I mean, you need to be considering that. You need to look at the laws, and we'll engage with you on it. So to answer the question of what we're doing with ChatGPT, we are allowing it. We're supporting it. We are working with our staff to hear how's that going and how can we support you on that. I will say, we were early to the game. We were actually part of the GPT-3 beta a couple of years ago, 3.5, and now 4 were actually part of the beta. And we actually created our own internal AI chatbot early on in about 2019. So a lot of our staff and internally we have some experience with it. So it's something folks felt comfortable with it. But again, I think one of the biggest things whenever you roll out any technology, new technology, is that you have to have that open line of communication. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you concerned about in the classroom? And listen, not just from staff and from students. But we're very much allowing it. We're exploring it together and we're responding as we, hear questions about it throughout our district.
Are there any positive use cases that you've heard about from students or even especially teachers around AI tools and or ChatGPT?
I think that it's largely around the opportunity for student tasks. Frankly, we're still exploring this space. We're working with teachers, helping to begin to allay some of the concerns about cheating and those sorts of questions that come up, and really think about the opportunities that AI in all of its formats has to be a powerful tool for students, but also beyond students to be a powerful school tool for teachers and staff, as well as for district leadership and administration to make some of the more routine perfunctory tasks that we do more efficient.
We've heard a lot of different use cases around really how ChatGPT can increase in student achievement, how it can reduce achievement gaps, how it can improve teacher effectiveness, how it can increase student engagement, how it can also promote equitable and inclusive learning within our populations. And so, I think in all areas, having, a bot, if you will, that really enhances the type of outcomes that we're looking to accomplish within each grade level, how it really can help, tutor kids in a way that we're not able to tutor effectively by offering lesson planning, by offering curriculum maps as well. I think it's really going to be able to captivate our students' interests in a way that's really personalized to them. And so I think by doing that, it helps really promote equity and inclusion for all of our students.
There are so many positives, examples and use cases I've heard about ChatGPT with our admin, with our teachers, with our students. I know teachers are doing a lot of lesson planning around it. They're writing up word prompts about it, for their students. And they're really just asking, I'm thinking about this type of lesson. What can you come up with? So it's been really positive to hear our teachers thinking it through. For our students, I know they've gotten feedback on their essays, not having it rewrite it entirely, but, what do you think of this essay? How can I think about it in a new way? What is a possible draft and outline? But I think the most important thing to remember with all these examples, our teachers are working with students about what the appropriate use of AI is. And again, we give our teachers a lot of autonomy. Some are using it more than others, but they really are working collaboratively around that. I know at the administrative level, we are using ChatGPT. I ran a few experiments on it about our district values. I'll take an email I'm about to write and I'll tell our AI, consider our district values, and our internal AI uses ChatGPT technology, but it has our own values built into it, and say, how well does this email align with our district values, which are collaborate, think critically, be creative, offer empathy, and learn from failure. It'll actually go point by point through our values and give me feedback about how I can improve my email. So I think having that reflective piece has been really interesting. Another experimental use we've tried is I'll say simulate a board meeting where a member of the community comes up with a concern about X. What might their concerns be? And how might I address them in the context of our values? And I'll be able to actually practice responding to the community about topics they might be interested in. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for admin, for teachers, and for students. And again, we're working through together about what the best and healthiest way to use these technologies are.
With regards to AI tools like ChatGPT, are you or any other districts you know of changing their techniques for grading students and the types of assignments being used in the classroom?
I don't know that we've changed grading policies. I think we have to think differently about that technology. We were having a conversation the other day. There was a time when even a calculator was like, well, shouldn't kids just know how to calculate on their own without the use of a tool? And we don't even question that anymore. And I think that's similar with this. It just changes the types of tasks we give. It changes how we imagine students having what's the skills that they need to access it in powerful ways. And so it's really kind of a new territory that we'll continue to learn as we go. But my commitment is that we're in the conversation and we're leading the way and not afraid of the technology, but embracing it.
I think we're seeing all different types of assignments change because of ChatGPT and all of these other AI tools. I think it's a spectrum. We got some teachers that are actually going old school and using these blue books to make sure that our students are able to write now instead of type out the responses. And on the other end, I'm seeing teachers that actually are leveraging the AI chatbot and saying, hey, if you're going to use the chatbot, I want you to critique the responses you get from the chatbot and really synthesize your responses and your information on why that is accurate or inaccurate, or valid or invalid. And so I think that spectrum, if you will, is something that I think we're going to see more and more of, as the years go by, especially with a lot of different tools that are out there.
We talk about this a lot. How big of a shift do you need now that ChatGPT is available? Do you need to make these big shifts? I think we're still in the experimental mode. I know some teachers are experimenting with, maybe we want to do at least a few more in-class writing examples, make sure we can get a baseline for how these students are communicating. Others, it's really more about being proactive and showing students ChatGPT on the first day and sharing those expectations about what the appropriate use for ChatGPT is. A lot of our teachers, I think, have worked very hard to make sure that they know their students' writing styles, that they can identify when maybe it doesn't match or it's leaning too heavily on ChatGPT. But we're very much in the early stages of, how much of our practice does need to change. I think sometimes it helps to think it through ahead of time, but other times I think changes in practice come as we use technology more. I think back to, this is going to date me a little bit. Well, when Wikipedia became available, there's a big concern like, are you going to block Wikipedia? Or are you not? And from that, we talked about triangulation and look at the sources and really more of a focus on that. And to go even further back, I remember when grammar check and even spell check became more prevalent in word processors. And suddenly, we have to decide what old skills do we want to hold on to? Is it really important that a student knows exactly how to spell every single word in the English language? Or can we use that time somewhere else? And those are questions, not judgments. It is something we talk through at a district level. It's something the teachers talk through in their departments. It's something teachers talk with their students about, and ultimately the community will have an opinion on. So I think we're very much in process about what that change looks like, and it could take years, both locally and as a society. What do we want to value? What do we want to focus on? And what are we willing to cede to a level to technology? And I think it's a really healthy question. I just think it's something that's evolving over time.
Thanks for listening to our smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This was our District Talk segment where we interview school district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday launch into their future by shining online. This episode was brought to you by our smartsocial.com VIP program. It's called the Very Informed Parent Program, which helps you engage your students with teen-led video lessons. Stay one step ahead with our premium parent newsletter and discover hidden features on trending apps on teens' phones and our 54 plus live parent and student-friendly events every single year. You can click on the link below to chat with one of our team members if you want a free pass to our VIP program to support your community with our smartsocial.com resources. And if you're a district leader who has a success story, we would love to feature you on a future episode. You can click the links below to reach out. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.